The UK is going to be hit by a snow bomb starting on March the 19th. Is it connected to iPet Goat 2, which shows a winter scene, but it also seems to show Ramadan. Ramadan has just started, and we have the eclipse during Ramadan. Now this weather snow bomb, which they are predicting, which will leave London covered with snow, this is what they are saying, and could it also affect America, they say is a 1 in 250 year event. So to me this obviously means they are playing the harp. They are playing the harp. And as I say, all these events seems to be the year predicted in iPet Goat 2. It's also related to the Illuminati game cards. And I believe there will be a big tsunami event in the Atlantic, likely caused by La Palma, a meteor, or both. But we have that winter scene, and we have Ramadan. And the UK is going to be hit by a snow bomb. A 1 in 250 year event, according to the Met Office, starting on the 19th, where London will be also covered with snow. So that doesn't happen that often. Is it connected to iPet Goat 2? And as I've said here, February and March. Remember, we also have the Ides of March. We have the predicted assassination of Trump, which I've explained in my videos. He is the Julius Caesar character. And I will talk a bit more about how De Niro recently talked about Trump being a dictator, like Caesar. Caesar refused to give up power. We also have the comet in Caesar, with Caesar's death. Could it be related to this devil comet, the eclipse? And is there also a connection with Prince William becoming king on the eclipse? Which I will explain. So we have February, March. Is this also connected to, possibly, the Oscars? These heads look a bit like the Oscar awards. So this weather bomb, they say the main part of it is going to be on the 23rd of March. Will it also affect America? We're in Ramadan, and iPet Goat 2 seems to show Ramadan. And it's all connected to the Israeli operation and the Al-Aqsa flood, this event in Palestine. Al-Aqsa means palm tree. La Palma flood. I've explained this lots of times in my videos. So we have Ramadan, and we can see, notice the lotus flower, and we can see it's a winter scene, and then we have what looks like a wave, and then we have Bin Laden on an island. And what's strange is behind him he has Iranian soldiers, and of course Bin Laden has nothing to do with Iran. And it's interesting that the maker of iPet Goat 2 was involved in the films Lord of the Rings. And in the Lord of the Rings you have the Fellowship of the Ring, you have the Twin Towers, and then you have the Return of the King. It seems to relate to Prince William, the Masonic messianic figure. And we've had interesting events with the royal family. Could Charles be dead soon, and will William take over at the eclipse? It looks like Boris Johnson will come back. We have this photo of Kate Middleton, and she looks like Dawn French. It looks more like Dawn French than Kate Middleton. Dawn French is an actress, so it doesn't look like her. And now they've released this photo, this latest photo, and you see that the prince has his fingers crossed. This seems to indicate that this is a fake photo, and could Kate Middleton be dead? Here she is as Rosemary's Baby, and as I say, the royal family are run by a satanic cult, Dark Forces, and this seems to have started with John Dee. And John Dee and Francis Bacon are the main writers of Shakespeare. And Prince William's mother, Diana, her family is directly related to the Washingtons, and they were the family who patronised the main patrons of Shakespeare. And the first man to get it was called William Shakespeare. The first man to get William Shakespeare, you shake it before you spear it. Nazim Zahawi, Tsar, that means Caesar. Stratford upon Avon MP, he was the Tsar. And Trump was the father of Operation Warp Speed, the father of the William Shakespeare, and he's playing the Julius Caesar character. And it's rumoured that Kate Middleton was having an affair with this man, Thomas Kingston, who's been found dead with a head wound. Now it looks like William has been having an affair with this woman called Rose Hanbury. So it seems like Rose Hanbury's had her hand buried in Prince William's trousers. And is Prince William the Masonic messianic figure? There seems to be a lot of strange things going on with the royal family. You had those horses, they looked like they were in mourning outside Buckingham Palace. Is William going to be king at the time of the eclipse? Lord of the Rings, he was born on the summer solstice. Diana may have been a virgin. Diana is Isis. All her memorials are dedicated to Isis. All her memorials have symbolic reference to Isis. She was named after the moon goddess, Diana, who is Isis. And it seems like William is the Masonic messianic figure, who's the 1000th Knight of the Garter, which was created on St. George's Day. We had the emergency alert on St. George's Day. St. George and St. Michael are the same characters according to the Rosicrucians. And it's all to do with Freemasonry, Theosophy, and transhumanism, where they believe that the human being is a vessel for a greater intelligence, Lucifer. So let's look at boxing, because we had the boxing featuring Ngannou and Joshua. Boxing is a Freemasonic sport. It was created by Freemasons, by a Knights Templar, the Marquis of Salisbury. His son had a homosexual affair with Oscar Wilde, who was a Freemason. And the reason why he took Oscar Wilde to court is because it became too public. They like to keep things secret. But boxing and all these gangsters, like Kenneth Noye, they're all Freemasons. They go to the same lodge as the policemen. The criminals go to the same lodge as the policemen. This is proved by Kenneth Noye. If you look into the life of Kenneth Noye, he was a Freemason. He did the robbery at the airport, and then all that money was used to buy drugs. They created the rave scene in England, and then his partner was found dead in a car. And then he went to, remember, he shot a policeman and got away with it. He gave like Masonic signals in the court case. And then he was part of a road rage incident where he killed a man, and now he's already released. He also went out with Barbara Windsor. So you have all that connection with the Greys, and the Greys are part of DASOM, Freemasonry, and the control, this Freemasonic control of the crime scene. They would get young boys for the politicians, and this connects us with the painter Francis Bacon. The painter Francis Bacon used to dress up in women's clothes, and he was actually a rent boy. Francis Bacon, the painter, was a rent boy, and I might do a video about him in the future. So all these people connect to each other, and it all connects to boxing, because the mob are involved in boxing. Always had a long history. You have this guy, Lenny McLean, who's one of Britain's hardest men. He is related to Frank Warren. So Frank Warren and Eddie Hearn are Freemasons, and they control boxing. And it seems obvious that Tyson Fury let Ngannou beat him up a bit, because there's money, it's all about money. And Joshua beat Ngannou because they had to bring back the reputation of boxing. Boxing has always had rigged fights, and it's run by Freemasons. Most of its boxers have been Freemasons. Gary Mason was a Freemason. Henry Cooper, a Freemason. They're all Freemasons. The mob are Freemasons. Here we have Frank Bruno with Jimmy Savile and the Yorkshire Ripper. Masonic handshake. You have Mike Tyson fighting one of the Logan sisters. So Mike Tyson's going to fight one of the Logan sisters. And this is all sports entertainment, all money, all distraction. And are they going to bring Frank Bruno back? You know what I mean? No. So boxing is all run by Freemasons. Talking of Jimmy Savile, we see that George Galloway is back, and George Galloway is a controlled opposition shill. This is proven by the amount of publicity he's been given, and he was employed by Talk TV. Talk TV is run by DASOM. And here he meets Jimmy Savile. Remember that Jimmy Savile was one of the most notorious pro that country in the Middle East. I actually think he was buried there. So Jimmy Savile, which connects it all to Epstein, was buried in that country, well, was one of the biggest supporters of that country, like Esther Ranson and all these celebrities. And here we have George Galloway greeting him like he's God.
Now then, Mr. Champ, wait, Champ. I have to see how big you are. That's on the facts and the lance.
So you have a transvestite basketball player. You have Barrymore, who was involved in a notorious case involving a man found in his pool. Remember, a man was also found in David Hockney's pool. And we have George Galloway. We have Pete Burns, who's dressed as a trans. And this just shows you the parties these people go to. The parties, and George Galloway is part of it. And Galloway is a complete hypocrite. Look at that, creepy Galloway. Look at that. Look what he's doing to that girl's ear. Look how creepy that is.
Oh, the big man. You have nothing to fear from me either.
Now, Galloway claims to be a Catholic. Now, you would think that Catholicism is the complete opposite of Marxism, yet he claims to be this communist Marxist. He's a complete shill, controlled opposition shill, as I've shown, like controlled opposition Muslims like Ali Dawa. And so we have Sugar Ray Robinson, he was a Mason. All the boxers are Freemasons. Now we have De Niro with this interview where he's saying that Trump is a dictator like Julius Caesar. And he made a film called Killers of Flower Moon. Is it connected to Trump and the flower in I Pet Goat 2? Is it connected to that? Are you talking to me? Are you talking to me? Okay, so that's my news roundup. Thank you.